Alright everyone, I went ahead and plated up my apple galette. Now I did a caramel sauce at the bottom, and then on top I just went ahead and added a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Hello everyone and welcome. Today we have a brand new video with a brand new recipe, so let's get started. Today we will be making an apple galette. For this apple galette or apple tart, we will need pastry dough and apple filling. For the pastry dough, we will need AP flour, sugar, salt, very cold unsalted butter, ice cold water, and then for the apple filling, we will need green apples, sugar, ground cinnamon, honey to drizzle, brown butter, dried cranberries, and sliced almonds. Okay, so now that we talked about our recipe and the ingredients, I actually went ahead and did our pastry crust last night. But don't worry, I have the clip for you and I'm going to run it so that you can see every single step and how I actually made this crust. For the dough, we're going to go ahead and place our flour in the bowl. To this, we're going to go ahead and add our sugar together with our salt. We will now proceed to place our bowl in our mixer. And before we move on to the next set of ingredients, I've mixed it up a little bit just to incorporate every single one of the 3 ingredients we had in there. And now we're going to proceed and put our cold butter into our flour mix. I cut these up into small cubes and had them in the cooler previously. Make sure you keep an eye on your flour because you don't want your butter to completely mix in, but you want to still keep those chunks because that's what's going to make your dough flaky. So after you've seen that your butter looks sort of like a medium-sized chunk, we're going to go ahead and add our cold water. Make sure this is cold because this will help keep the butter in chunks and prevent them from melting. Soon your mix is going to start coming together. Do not overmix. Stop as soon as it looks incorporated. Now transfer my dough into my table, which I already lined up with plastic wrap, and I will just form it sort of into a square. Then I'm going to fold in my wrap and lightly pack it, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it in my fridge for it to set overnight. Okay, so now that we've seen how to make the pastry crust, we're going to go ahead and start prepping our apples. Let's start by bringing our apples over. Awesome. So now that we have our apples, let's go ahead and peel the first one. We will now take our apple and cut the top and the bottom. The apple will then need to be cut into quarters, and we will also go ahead and core them. Just like this. And I did the same thing with our second apple. Yes, so now let's go ahead and start slicing our apples. Now I like to use a mandolin, it's just easier for me. I do not recommend it if you don't know how to use it. And if you do, just make sure you follow your manufacturer's instructions and you're a pro at this. But if you don't know how to use it, you don't have one, you can just use your knife. I went ahead and sliced my apples very thinly, as you can see, but if you want them thicker, you can. I will just leave that up to you. I saved a couple of apples, which I will go ahead and cube them so that I can kind of lay them on top of my galette at the end. It's pouring time. We will bring our sugar and our cinnamon and sprinkle it on top of our sliced apples. And after we've done this, we will bring our brown butter. The process of browning butter just brings me joy. The smell, the scent, And not to forget, the touch that it adds to every single recipe is just amazing. So I encourage you to try it. Let's mix everything together gently until everything looks incorporated. Okay, apples are done. So now let's get our dough rolled up. Let's start by dusting some flour into our working area, which in my case it is my table. And we will now start rolling our dough. Let me go ahead and take this wrap off and start rolling. I would like for us to roll this out. Hold on, I can hear everything on my table. Let me just take some of this stuff off of my table so nothing falls off. Okay, so we're ready now. Let's resume on the rolling, and we're actually going to try to roll this out into sort of like a round shape. If you can't, that's fine as long as you try. We're going to go ahead and cut it at the end anyway so we can mold it however we want to. And here is the end result. We will now go ahead and cut our dough into a circle. You can start taking off the excess from your dough. Our circle is done. Let's go ahead and move our dough into a piece of parchment paper so that we can easily transfer our galette at the end or during the process of us assembling it. Now I'm going to take my knife and kind of draw, not cut, but just gently draw a circle. This circle within the circle is going to outline the space that we will need to fill. We will now take the apples and place them just like I am doing on this video, and we're going to go all around until we reach the center. This looks so good. So now we will go ahead and start folding our edges just like this. Up next, we're gonna bring our diced up cubes of apples, and we're just gonna go ahead and put them on top. Let's bring our cranberries and sprinkle some of those on top. Transfer our beautiful piece of art into a pan, and now I will drizzle some honey over it. Make sure you coat it well, go all around. Gently brush some egg wash all around the edge of our galette. Let's sprinkle some raw sugar right on the edges as well, and let's go ahead and bake this at 375 degrees. Our apple galette came out beautiful, as you can see. Now about halfway through this baking, I actually went ahead and did some sliced almonds on top just because I didn't want them to burn being in the oven too long. So I just did it about halfway, and I baked this for about 50 minutes to an hour. You get this nice looking crust. Alright, so now that we have this going on, I'm actually going to plate this and I'm going to go ahead and taste it. We'll be right back. Alright everyone, I went ahead and plated up my apple galette. Now I did a caramel sauce at the bottom, and then on top I just went ahead and added a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Now let me go ahead and dig into this. I wish I could share with you guys, but unfortunately I can't, so I'll just let you know how good this is. Just make sure you get everything in there. I'm telling you, once you taste this, you're not going back. It is so good. It is so delicious and so simple to make. I'm so glad that I get to spend some time with you guys and also show you some of these great recipes that you can enjoy together with your family. Once again, do not forget to subscribe. Just remember that your support keeps me going. Also, click that notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you're the first one to see it. Also, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.